Kevin Keith, and you're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
Hi everyone, John Liebman here. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com. We're coming to you today on location from the NAMM Show, 2020 NAMM Show. It's Thursday morning. You're our first interview of the whole decade. How do you like that?
Hey, I love it. Got to start the day out with a bang.
Let's go. This, by the way, is Kevin Keith, our old friend. We did an interview at Bass Player Live in 2016, and we published it in January 2017, so it's been a minute, and we got the whole story of your upbringing and how you discovered the stick, and I think we even talked about a little actual, bass playing that you did, and it's been over 3 years since the interview, and I know there's a lot of new stuff going on, so I thought that they would like to be brought up to date on what's been keeping you busy, so why don't you tell us all?
Absolutely. A lot of new stuff I'm excited about. Recently relocated, so I'm doing music full-time now, writing.
You can't just say I relocated from where? You were in San Diego, I think?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. And you relocated to?
Yeah, left Los Angeles, still basing myself out of Los Angeles, but now Reno, Los Angeles and Reno, Nevada, which has been great. I have a job right now writing music for a gaming company, as well as making new music on the stick, which has been great. And I get accused of interrupting people all the time, and okay, I'm guilty this time, but remember the game Trivial Pursuit? Oh, yeah.
Which city is further west, Las Vegas or Reno, Nevada?
Ooh, which city is further west? I'm going to say Reno.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, because I know it's not far to get from Reno to Chico. I can't believe I got that right. Love it.
Anyway.
But no, also, let's see, what else we got? Got new music coming. March 1st, new music's going to be coming out, hitting all the streaming radio sites as well as all the download. Do they still download? They just stream. Download as well. So, yeah, really looking forward to that.
So what does that mean? You have a solo album?
Yes, solo record. I'm doing some new things now, working with Ableton Live in a different way, where I'm actually putting together some solo stuff where I'm playing multiple instruments and kind of moving around a little bit within one song. The videos will come, so it'll make a bit more sense when you actually see it.
Okay, multiple instruments meaning what?
Multiple instruments is stick, keyboards, and finger drumming, and a little bit of bass guitar. We'll see if those tunes make the cut, if they make the album, but yeah. So it's been exciting. Okay,
and original music?
All original music. The style is, well, I don't want to say the style of the way I'm playing it is actually called virtual DJing, I guess. You have a handful of guys where they're just layering things using an Ableton and, kind of going from one instrument to the next, but actually building songs. I always found that fascinating. And being a multi-instrumentalist, it just kind of made sense to give it a shot, and I fell in love with it. So here we go. Let's see what we got.
Okay. Well, March 1st is coming up pretty fast, so you must have a title for the album by now?
I do not.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but...
No, for now I'm going to call it To Be Continued.
Okay.
So we'll see what we got.
This is not your first solo release, is it?
No. I've had a couple, one other, I believe, yes. So yeah.
You believe, you're not sure?
Well, you know what's funny? I've had...
Now I am going to put you on the spot.
Exactly. I've had partial albums and EPs. Okay. So I've always thought, do I count those? Are they real? So
I understand.
Yeah, so, but yeah, this one I'm really excited about. It'll be good.
Okay. Well, we will watch for it, and to Be Continued is the working title.
Working title, To Be Continued. Yes. Like so many other things I do, yes.
Okay. I got to talk to you about the stick, because I've been, I don't know if it was before or after we did the interview, but I had the privilege of spending about 3 or 4 hours over at Emmett Chapman's house with Emmett and his lovely wife, Yuta. And just getting the whole indoctrination to the whole thing. I had a lot of trouble getting my head around, okay, this is the lowest one, these are tuned in fourths, these are tuned in fifths, and wow, and lately there's an author named Jim Riley, and he reached out to me, and we've been communicating for, I don't know, the better part of a year, and he wrote a book called Stickman, which is all about, and you're familiar with the book, as I asked you earlier, okay, and it's all about, but what I really liked about it, it's not just about the stick and the factory and the production, but it goes back to like Emmett's parents and his grandparents and over in Europe and coming over here and his father and his stepfather and his brother and the band and, a lot of very personal stuff. He really humanized it.
Absolutely.
And I have since received another book by Jim called Steinberger. It's a biography of Ned Steinberger. which I was reading on the plane yesterday on the way to NAMM, which is fascinating. But the reason I bring that up is because I want to talk a little bit more about the stick, because it is different. It really is. It's not like taking a guitar and making a better guitar, taking a keyboard and making a better keyboard, or electronics or modular. It's a whole game changer. And at the risk of duplicating anything we may have talked about 3 years ago, let's just go back to the beginning and describe what this is. This is a 10-string.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the deal with the stick?
The thing I really liked a lot about the stick, and this is the part that was a bit for me to wrap my head around coming from bass guitar and guitar, is the fist tuning. So badly, I wanted to be a guitar or a bass. I wanted to like tune it in force and make it do that. But I began realizing one of the coolest things about fist tuning is that I can hit a chord, and that would actually take you one hand chord. To actually play this chord right here, or this chord on a piano, would take you 2 hands to hit the lowest note to the highest note. So it gave me all this range, it gave me all this flexibility. There's so many things I could do. It gave me this huge palette of sound, yet I could still have one hand remaining. I can still play slap on it while playing chords with the other hand. I've actually invented a technique called tap slap, where I'm actually slapping with, it's a combination of just slapping with a thumb while holding a chord with the same hand. A little bit tricky to do, but it works. There's the possibilities of this instrument are limitless.
You know, it's interesting because when it got the attention of guys like Tony Levin and Don Schiff and Steve, is it Adelson or Adelson? It is Adelson. Okay, I wasn't sure how to pronounce it. But they were all showing Emmett what they were able to do on the stick, and Emmett said, wow, I had never thought of that. That's really, so they're like surpassing his original concept of the stick. You mentioned range. What is the range? This is a low B, right? So how big of a range does this 10-string stick have?
Oh my goodness. From the lowest note to highest note, that's on the spot. I couldn't actually tell you.
Okay.
I know that across one chord I can get about 2.5 octaves if I reach it wide enough. Actually, probably longer than that. I have pretty large hands, so I play a lot of chords that involve a big stretch, so it gives you this big ringing sound. And just the way I use my effects, there'll be some things you'll hear on the next record. They'll come out.
Because looking forward to that, as I'm sure they are too. But the thing about the stick is that it's a whole different science. It's a whole different way of playing because it's a two-handed tapping, and you can get the bass. It's like Bobby McFerrin on a stick, because you can outline a bass, you can play the chords, you can solo, you can improvise, you can do all of that, and it's just incredible. Other than the record, I'm sure that was keeping you plenty busy up until now. But what else is keeping you busy, and/or what else do you have coming up?
Right now, just been focusing on that. One of the main reasons for wanting to leave LA, I mean, I love the city, love it. But now that I'm in a smaller market, it gives me a bit more time to focus and to try things and to work out some stuff. So that's been something I've wanted to do for years, and now it's finally happening. I think I've done more playing in the last year than I've done probably in the last 5 years, just because I've had the element of time to do so. So that's been great. Really excited about that. And there's a lot of musical ideas and inspiration that are coming from that. Also, just living in Reno, the environment is so incredible. It's so beautiful there.
I want to ask you about that, because I've been to Vegas 100 times. I've never been to Reno. Is it like all gambling and casinos, or is it a whole different vibe? Is there clubs and club dates and things like that, or how does it compare to Vegas?
Very good question. It's different in that Reno has a number of different communities. There's a gambling scene in the Strip that's downtown. There's a small jazz scene that's happening with some clubs in the downtown area and in an area called Midtown. Also, there's this huge outdoor scene. I mean, it's like 45 minutes to Lake Tahoe, and then there's a number of clubs there. There's a ton of live music, from concerts to just smaller acts to independent acts. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of different scenes, which I didn't expect. I didn't really know what to expect when I went there. So
maybe it wasn't Reno. Maybe it was Lake Tahoe that's further west.
Tahoe is, because half of Lake Tahoe, I think half, is actually in California and the other is in Nevada. Yeah, so that's pretty far west.
All right, Trivial Pursuit. Last time I played Trivial Pursuit was like in the 80s. I probably asked you this last time, but I don't remember, so I'll ask you again.
Okay.
What would you be if you weren't a bass player, a stick player, something outside of music? What would you be?
Code writer, software. Yeah. If I was not a musician, I would definitely be into software authoring. I like building things, and software is a new tools. I mean, I studied electronics for years. I spent a lot of time working in entertainment technology with electronics when I was in Los Angeles. And it was nice because that skill set allowed me to build things. Software is really the next generation of that. So, definitely.
Okay. I've gotten to the point where I don't panic when I say code, but I've learned a few things, but I really admire and respect anybody who has the discipline to sit down. It's a whole other language.
Yes, it is.
And computers can be very unforgiving. Mine, anyway.
Yeah, believe me when I say I understand.
All right, well, this is great. I can't believe it's been 3 years, but maybe let's not wait another 3 years before we get together again, because I know you're going to be busy doing a lot of cool stuff that will be interesting to these people here. So keep us posted on what you're doing, and we will impart that to our audience.
Definitely.
All right, thank you, Kevin Keith, on location with stickist and multi-instrumentalist and forthcoming album releaser, Kevin Keith, on location at the 2020 NAMM show. I'm John Liebman. You're watching the #1 site for one-on-one bass player, exclusive bass player interviews, and now more and more people's favorite site for learning bass online. That's for BassPlayersOnly.com. Thanks to everybody who joined up in the past week from too many places to mention, but keep it up and let's play bass. I'm John Liebman. Thanks for checking it out.